We're getting a closer look at how North Carolina plans to reduce carbon emissions. The so-called carbon plan is getting widespread criticism.
Some people say it lacks specifics, while others believe it just goes too far in rolling out renewables. WRAL's Joe Fisher has the big takeaways.
State law mandates that Duke Energy reduce its carbon dioxide emissions 70% by 2030 and reach net zero emissions by 2050. The carbon plan is essentially a roadmap for how to make that happen.
The single biggest resource for this next decade is going to be solar.
The carbon plan directs Duke Energy to make changes.
This plan leaves a lot of doors open.
But the plan does not address how much solar or wind and other clean energy it'll take to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050.
Right now, the commission allowed Duke to proceed with planning for additional new gas facilities.
Will Scott with the Environmental Defense Fund is opposed to new gas plants.
If you order gas plants that have a life that goes past 2050 when you're supposed to hit net zero, how do you get rid of those emissions?
The Utilities Commission is directing Duke Energy to purchase more solar by 2024, maintain its nuclear fleet, increase battery storage, study offshore wind, and retire coal-fired plants by 2035. Carbon reductions are expected to increase electric bills. Critics say expanding natural gas would be cheaper and more reliable. Duke Energy says, quote, "We believe this is a constructive outcome that advances our clean energy transition, supporting a diverse, all-of-the-above approach. We've already made incredible progress, retiring 2/3 of our aging coal plants and reducing emissions by more than 40% since 2005.
Now to get that next 50% emission reduction, you need to start really integrating what are really low-cost technologies now, solar, battery storage, wind, and figuring out how the full mix works.
And in the years ahead, the Inflation Reduction Act will provide Duke Energy tax credits to expand green energy. Meanwhile, the company will have to submit a new proposal for the carbon plan by September. I'm Joe Fisher, WRAL News, Raleigh.
The State Utilities Commission says those rolling blackouts we saw on Christmas Eve underscore the need for an orderly transition away from fossil fuel. The commission will receive a briefing from Duke Energy on those outages tomorrow.